Every morning, people start their day by cradling a cup of coffee or tea. They devour bowls of cereal or oatmeal and cover their plates with breakfast. For thousands of years, people have pursed their lips upon the edges of porcelain mugs and slurped their soup from stoneware bowls. It is no coincidence that the edge of a mug or bowl is called the lip, while the sturdy bottom is known as the foot. The connection between ceramics and life is all around us. Entire cultures have been formed around the traditions of pottery making. Chemicals in the clay have helped archaeologists date historic civilizations. Religion, social hierarchies, and the way people viewed the world has been inferred upon based on the shards of earthenware found during excavation. When all other traces of materials have tarnished and disappeared over the years, clay has always remained. Clay is a material meant to be dug up, hand-worked, and caressed. It dictates how we eat, drink, and view history. No other material has that power. I went to an extremely small rural high school where teachers often held multiple positions. My ceramics teacher also taught stained glass and painting alongside coaching cheerleading and the dance team. She was young, overly peppy, and kind of annoying. She put in good effort and knew her fair share about clay, but you could tell it wasn't her favorite medium. We made bowls on the wheel, hand-carved tiles, and small sculptures. I hated the wheel. No matter how many times I watched her center, open, or pull up the walls of a piece, I could not connect my hands with what I envisioned in my head. I gained a small understanding of the material and had pride in the sculpture work that I was creating, but was convinced that the wheel was just not for me. My bowls from the class can attest to that. When I came to college, I knew one of my majors would be art. It is encouraged by the program to choose one area to focus on, while letting other interests fit if there was time. There is never time. Because I'm a highly tactile person, I knew my emphasis would be in one of the three-dimensional mediums, but could not bring myself to choose between ceramics and sculpture. I decided to tackle clay first and take on woodworking and metal shop when I felt more comfortable with my artistic aesthetic. I had the extreme pleasure of taking my first sculptural hand building course with Matt Waddell, a visiting artist that took a semester-long position in the ceramics department. As the son of a functional potter, he learned almost everything he knows about clay simply by growing up in a ceramicist's studio. He had an intimate and intrinsic knowledge about the material and would spend all hours in his studio creating immense pieces. While pulling all-nighters to finish final works, I knew he would be there at 4 in the morning to answer panicked questions or drop some deep-seated knowledge. He introduced me to ceramicists, potters, and installation artists that created whole new worlds from a material I had only previously used to make paperweights. He instilled in me the idea that a humdrum material could be pushed to do extraordinary things. His eccentric passion fueled a fire in me to learn more. Never before had I had a teacher so excited about the work I was creating. He made me want to push myself, and it showed in the progression of my work over this semester. I finally felt connected to what I was creating. I learned as much as I could from him in the time I had, and spent all my spare time working alongside him in the studio. As is required by the department, I took wheel throwing the following semester. I was hoping that a wider knowledge of clay and its fickle ways would help me magically understand the wheel. This was not to be the case. I struggled with every aspect of the process. I watched my classmates create beautiful tall vases and intricate vessels. Where I had previously set the mark with carvings and decorative hand-built pieces, they surpassed me with a thin-walled, graceful ease. I had found an artistic practice that continued to elude me, and I was not happy about it. Even more than the previous semester, this material challenged me to the point of frustration. I was giving in to this temptress and letting it win me over. After many late nights and project redos, something finally clicked. When placed upon the spinning clay, my hands began naturally picking up the rhythm of the wheel. Bowls began to widen, vases grew to new heights, and my nesting bowls fit snugly together. My knack for decoration and proportions showed up in my newfound forms. I had rediscovered my love of ceramics. Once my technical skill caught up with my mental images, my work took on a new direction. I could create whatever I wanted and was inhibited only by my boundless imagination. If you ask any ceramicist, they will assure you that clay is not for the weak of heart. Anything can go wrong at any point in the process, and while steps can be taken to prevent excessive shrinking, cracking, or crazy glaze results, you still never know what will come out of the kiln. As a perfectionist, this idea of the unknown brings about the ultimate competitor in me. Tell me I cannot control something, and I will do all in my power to prove you wrong. Ceramics provides the idea of unattainable perfection, and I plan on changing that. Other than a mug or two, the dishes that fill my house have not yet been passed down through the generations. Stoneware and porcelain that I have coaxed through every part of the process have begun to find their homes behind the paneled glass of my kitchen cupboards. I have been there for these pieces. I have literally created them from the dirt. As something steeped in tradition and history, this is the least I can do.